everyone, everywhere. It's your girl Morg, stopping you dead in your tracks. I'm your host Morgan Martin, and this is the Morgan Martin Show. To all of my returning friends, I say thank you. And to all of my new pals, I say welcome to season 3. Tonight, kicking us off, we have a special guest all the way from Panama City Beach, Florida, with a holistic approach to wellness. Without further ado, please welcome licensed practitioner, Dr. Halie. So it's such a pleasure to have you first and foremost, and thank you for saying yes to being a guest on the Morgan Martin Show.
Of course.
I want to know more about your practice, so give us a little bit about your background and how did this all come about having your own practice?
So I'm Dr. Halie Elchos. I am a chiropractic physician by trade, and I've also done a lot of continuing education as a functional medicine practitioner. And so what that means is I really try to get to the root cause of people's issues. And so majority of my patient clientele, they may be coming in for just some chronic back pain, maybe headaches, neck pain, things like that. And what makes me different than maybe some other practitioners is a sense of like, I don't just do adjusting. Like most chiropractors are going to be very pain focused.
Right.
And I care about your pain, but I'm actually more interested in how your body is functioning overall. And so what I do with adjustments is I'm going to do some soft tissue modalities such as cupping, things referred to as Graston, which is a technique that's used to help like break up fascia in the body.
Oh, okay.
I'll also give like rehabilitational stretches and exercises, things like that, to really try to help you get to the root of what you have going on.
That's really great for athletes too. You work with a lot of athletes as well?
Yep, so I have another office in Sandestin where I actually treat and take care of a lot of like pickleball and tennis athletes.
Nice.
So that's really like what as far as chiropractic goes, that's what I really like to specialize in. I mean, I see everyone, but if I had to pick a population, it would definitely
that would be it.
Yeah, because I like to help people perform better. I want patients, or I want people that care about their health and like they're interested in performing better, and I like to help them get there.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I love is that, as you mentioned, most doctors, they sort of treat, but you are more into a more holistic approach. Tell me a little bit more about the services that you provide. I know September is PCOS month or polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yeah, so great. That's a great example. So if you ever go to a conventional medicine doctor for PCOS, they're probably just going to recommend that you get on birth control. That's probably going to be their solution. But what causes PCOS is it's a metabolic issue. It's metabolic syndrome. It's actually more controlled by our blood sugar and cortisol. And so where I would take a different approach is I would be addressing someone's diet, recommending a metabolic friendly diet, a certain exercise routine, and along with some supplementation to really help them like heal their blood sugar, because blood sugar controls hormones rather than just slapping a patient with birth control.
Did you know that polycystic ovary syndrome is the #1 cause of infertility in women? In the month of September, this awareness campaign is recognized by the color teal, which you'll see on my nails and my blouse in this episode. We want every woman that's watching this episode to know you are worthy and you are whole, no matter what the societal norms may be. We stand with you, we love you, and continue to watch this episode for more helpful tips to be whole, happy, and healthy. Thank you. So that you also cover hormonal testing.
Yes, so I do what's called a Dutch test, and it is a kit that comes to your home, and it's probably the gold standard whenever it comes to hormones. It's a lot better than blood draws, especially for estrogen, DHA, things like that.
Yeah.
Testosterone is a gold standard getting a blood test, but it really gives me a good full spectrum of someone's hormones. However, I also do something a little different, and it's epigenetic hair analysis. And
yes, I saw that on your site.
Yeah, and so that's usually my first chain of command for patients, because hormones are just signalers. They're not the problem. And so, because there's something driving our hormones, right? And so what I usually like to do is use my epigenetic hair testing. What that does is it tells me when patients have, they have any type of resistance on their system, so maybe mold, parasites, any type of virus. It's also going to tell me if patients have things like toxic metals, if they have radiation, maybe chemicals, exposed to like a lot of chemicals, things like that.
So you're really getting to the root of the issue.
I'm getting to the root, and it tells me a lot of their nutritional markers as well. And so it's a lot more affordable than all of the blood work. It's a lot more affordable than blood work. It gives me a lot more information than blood work is going to give you. And a conventional model is never going to test the patient for any type of toxic metals. They're never going to test the patient for parasites.
Unless they come in and mention and say, hey, I was exposed and this could have been it.
Correct.
It's a guessing game.
Correct. Can I share a testimony of a patient?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Just because I want people to understand. So, for instance, like I had a patient that came in with a lump in her breast, and she was definitely more holistic minded. The conventional model just wanted to go do an MRI, biopsy, all of these things, and she didn't necessarily want to do that route if it wasn't necessary, because people probably don't know. But mammograms, all those things actually expose you to a lot of radiation, and that's a totally different topic. But so, for instance, the patient comes in, lump in her breast. We did the hair analysis, and toxic metals came up on her scan. And I had asked her if she had any amalgam fillings, so silver fillings in her mouth, and she said yes. I said, are they on the same side as
where the lump
lump
was?
And she said yes. I was like, okay, go to this biological dentist. There's one in Dothan, and have them remove your metal fillings, and then we're going to detox you afterwards. Wow. And then I also recommended that she go get an ultrasound every 3 months, just to keep an eye on it, make sure it wasn't growing or anything like that. And obviously I always say, like, it's whatever you're comfortable with. I want you to do what works best for you. I'm not forcing you into any type of agenda or anything like that. And so 9 months later, after getting the toxins, the heavy metals removed and doing the detox, the lump went away. And so if she would have gone a conventional route, that it would have been a totally different experience, right?
Absolutely.
Am I saying that it healed cancer or anything like that? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is that I know that the body is perfectly created, and if you give it what it needs, if you take the resistance off of it, then your body is going to be able to heal itself.
I love that. And you're able to do that without the restrictions of insurance companies, so that...
Yes, and that's why I love that you bring that up, and that's why I don't take insurance. And it's a hard thing, because I know that people pay a lot for their insurance, and I honor that. But here's the thing: insurance is going to dictate your health care. A doctor is going to do what insurance is going to pay for versus what a patient may actually need. And so I rather have a flat rate. You pay me whatever my fee is, and then I can treat you how I'd like to treat you.
That's awesome. I agree. I would rather get what I need ultimately. You don't take insurance, but there are some other forms of payments on your site that you take as well.
Yes. So if people have an HSA card, so that's a good point. Thank you. Some patients or some companies give people what's called a health savings account.
Oh, okay.
So it's essentially they can use that on more holistic type of services.
Gotcha.
And then I can also create what's called a super bill for patients, where it is I can create you a super bill. You actually submit it to your insurance and see if they'll reimburse you.
Neat. That's great. That's good news. So now you know your options that you have as well. So let's talk a little bit more about the services that you offer. I know you have needling.
Oh yes.
And cupping.
Yes. So whenever it comes to chiropractic care, like I was saying earlier, I love to see all populations, but when I really enjoy like athletes. I see a lot of military here and things like that. People that just want to function and perform better. And so yes, on top of adjustments, I forgot the dry needling. We do the cupping, the dry needling, the grafting. I do all types of some band work and things like that to help improve like range of motion and joints. And so yes. Yeah,
and a little bit of it all.
I do a little bit of it all, and like I said, that's another thing where you just come and you pay a one-time. You pay this my fee for. I'm paying you for 20-minute treatment, and I give you everything you need.
All in one. In 20 minutes.
All in one. Yeah. So 20
Can't
minutes.
be that.
And so that's
So what do you see the most of coming in?
From a, let's say, a functional medicine perspective, I see probably a lot more of just like autoimmune type of issues, which are really inflammatory in nature. And so if we can help, open up your body's drainage pathways and take whatever type of resistance off of that, it's going to really help facilitate healing in your body. So I would say autoimmune and really metabolic issues, going back to the PCOS, it's actually what really, I have an e-course called Metabolic Shift, and so it kind of explains to you how your eating patterns, how your day-to-day life can affect and influence your hormones. And so it's a 7-module course on physiologically, like how your body works, and then things that you can do, eating, exercise, all those things to improve your blood sugar regulation, to improve your hormones. And what really set that into motion was I had like a 21-year-old girl come in here, overweight. She's already put on metformin, which is like, old people are on that for diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a lot of other like medications, and it actually broke my heart. And I was like, I have to try to do something, because
your day is longer.
Yes, because those are just metabolic. When you have people coming in, they're eating garbage. They're staying up all night and sleeping all day.
Yeah.
Our bodies have a body clock, and we need to be sleeping at night and awake during the day. Anyway, there's a lot of things that go into it, but yeah, just really trying to improve the health. We have the sickest generation that we've ever had in the United States of America.
Why do you think that is?
Our food system, our food sources. Everything is loaded with
Chemicals
additives. Chemicals, but if you go look at high fructose corn syrup, MSG, all these additives, they actually spike your insulin like 10 times what eating just regular sugar is. And so when you're doing that, you're creating this dysregulation in the body, and you're creating metabolic syndrome, which is really the precursor for just about every disease.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I know in the African American community, you see diabetes and high blood pressure and things of that sort. So
it's definitely targeted.
And it's everywhere.
It is, but it's definitely targeted at it's targeted at lower income families. Yeah. That's just what it is, because they cover it up as being like cheaper, more affordable, when actually, our government actually gives these, anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
But we do have a demo today.
Yes.
And she's going to tell us what we're going to be doing today and demonstrating one of the services that she provides.
Yeah. All right, so Ms. Morgan wants to experience cupping, and cupping is pretty much a part of all of my chiropractic visits. And so what we're gonna do is, she's experienced things like headaches, and so I want to address that. I'm also going to, I'm going to kind of check her body out, see what I think she needs, and then I'll ask her if it's okay for me to do certain things. But yeah, we're gonna mostly do cupping. That's what she's most interested in. And then I'll just kind of talk through that while I'm doing it.
Yeah,
that works.
That'd be awesome. So we're going to transition.
All right, so we are back with Dr. Halie, and we're getting ready to experience the...
Yep, so we're going to do some cupping today on Miss Morgan here. All right, and so a lot of people don't really know what cupping is, but I'm sure everyone's familiar with Michael Phelps, right? That's when cupping kind of became very famous, when he had all those red dots all over him. Yeah. But what's funny is cupping has been around since the beginning. It's Eastern medicine. It's very like Chinese in origin, and so that's what we're going to do today. Okay,
awesome.
So we're just gonna, Morgan did mention that she gets headaches from time to time, but no issues. So I'm just gonna kind of feel around, see where there's like tension in her muscles, and then that's where we're gonna do some cupping at. Okay,
perfect.
So I'm gonna have you look down for me, Miss Morgan.
I'm looking down.
Yep, and we're just feeling around. And so usually, she asked how to dress it. Yeah, you're actually pretty tight up in there. So, Morgan asked how to dress. I usually prefer if people dress comfortably. However, usually when people come in, males, I'll just have them, take their shirt off when we do cupping. Females as well, just wearing a sports bra, things like that. It's usually very helpful. So, cupping is very helpful whenever it comes to muscle tension or soreness and things like that in our body. There are different variations, so I just use the suction cups. They're actually people that use fire, where you put fire in the inside and it creates a suction. The objective is, you doing okay?
Yeah, it feels like You know how they say, you ever been swallowed up?
Yes, so it creates a suction.
Oh.
I do have my patients that make jokes like, yeah, it looks like an octopus got a hold of me.
Oh my God, the testicles,
or things like that. Yeah, the tentacles, the suction cups. But what it's doing is, if there's any stagnant blood in Morgan's tissues, it's actually pulling it to the surface. Okay, and it's allowing for new blood flow to flow in. Whenever I did some palpations, Morgan was actually very tight in her shoulders. And so it shouldn't be painful when you do this. Sometimes it's a little bit
tight.
Uncomfortable. Yeah, but once you release it, it's going to feel so good. And so we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to do this type of cupping, and then we'll actually do another type as well on your upper traps.
How long do the markings stay?
Yep. So great question. So depending on how toxic the tissue actually. So if someone has very toxic tissue, if they have a lot of stagnant blood buildup, then the cupping marks could last up to a week. If they're not very red, that means that you have nice healthy tissue. So we'll get to see how healthy your tissue is.
Oh my God. Hopefully it's not too embarrassing.
And so if you have nice, good, healthy tissue, then they could kind of, it'll clear up in the next couple hours or so. Usually whenever patients have this on, you can kind of look at the purple. Hey, you mind if
Am I turning colors?
You turn a little bit of colors, yeah. Yeah, a little
bit. Might not be able to see
a little bit darker here. Yeah, you can. A little bit darker here and up here. And so we're gonna kind of leave that on for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna show you some other type of cupping that I usually do with patients as well.
All right.
You comfortable?
I feel like I'm being swallowed up. So what are you seeing with me? Is there tension in an area?
Yeah, so what I do whenever I am feeling around on someone's back before I put the cups on there, what I'm feeling is tone, like muscle tone in someone's body. And so what I really felt was just a lot of tightness and stuff up in this area. And so usually that occurs in people that are go, go, go all the time.
That's me.
Yeah, because what happens is our body actually has two states. Our parasympathetic state, that's where resting takes place, that's where healing takes place. And then we have our sympathetics, that's our go, 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 fight or flight response. And so when we're in that go, 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 what happens is we start to breathe with our with our shoulders and chest muscles instead of our diaphragm and belly. And so these muscles will get really tight. And
Sounds like you know me all of my life.
Yeah. Actually, the body tells a lot, and I can usually tell a lot about a person by just putting my hands on them and seeing what they have going on. And so, if Miss Morgan was a patient here, we would do the cupping. I would also do some adjustments that help actually put her into a parasympathetic state. But I would give her some breathing exercises to take home, and vagal tone stimulation, which is your vagus nerve, is responsible for helping your body get into that resting state, and just teaching her how to breathe again.
Yes, that's awesome.
And that's a very, it's a very chronic, or I say it's a very popular issue, right? So many people are always in this go, go, go response, fight or fly.
I was having to think about not falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
At first it was tense, and then now I feel like it's pulling everything that all of those tight muscles out.
Mm-hmm. Pulling your worries away.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to remove these. And then I'm going to just do one other type of cupping service.
And this is basically massaging from the... I'm doing good, guys. This is kind of like massaging from the inside out, because most massages are from the outside in.
Yeah.
And it kind of is
in
reverse.
It is really addressing. Go ahead and put your face down so you can see. So we can see her markings. You can see how maybe on the upper top on the second one's down, they're a bit more purple than all the rest. That just means that tissue there is a bit more unhappy. Oh. And so I'm going to show one other type of cupping that I do for mobility. It looks a little different. It is silicone, And so instead of them being stagnant, I actually will move it around. This one can sometimes be a little less like pleasant per se, but I create a suction and then I'm just gonna kind of drag it along those muscles.
Oh.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
So underneath the skin, we have what's called fascia.
Oh.
that covers the muscles, and so what this does is it allows for better movement and less restriction in that area.
Wow.
And so sometimes, like for instance, like I would maybe have Morgan like move in the opposite direction while I did the dragging. It's all about restoring movement and motion to certain areas.
You can definitely feel where it's tenser in different areas.
Yep.
It's pulling.
Yep, the more tender spots, and then you can usually feel some restrictions.
So the difference between the two and which one you would use on someone would be what?
Honestly, I usually will use both on patients, to be honest. Again, it's always dependent on what they have going on. This silicone one is a lot better to, whenever I'm doing like knees or elbows or arms, things like that. And it's really good for in this area. It just kind of is a little bit of a different way to help, restore just proper movement in that area. So it's not necessarily, like I said, just depends patient to patient. But yeah, you're all set now. Sit up and move your neck and stuff around. You should be able to.
I feel a lot looser.
Yeah, you should feel a lot more loose.
Woo!
Yep.
Feel like little jello.
Yeah, and so whenever I do adjustments on patients, I usually always start with that first, so it allows for a better and easier adjustment.
Nice.
All right, you're all set.
I'll just have to make sure my mom knows they're not hickeys.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like sometimes people always say it. Like I went home and I took my shirt off. My wife was like, oh, "What happened?
Oh, what happened to you?"
Yeah.
So I got proof.
Don't go telling Dr. Halie was beating you.
Look at that. That was awesome. No, yeah, I do feel more fluid.
Yeah, you should.
I really didn't realize how tense I was at the beginning until after, and then I was like, oh, well, I guess I was more.
Well, that's another thing too. People don't know how good they could feel because you're not getting the maintenance care that you need.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, no matter what you're doing, like you need maintenance care, whether it's chiropractic, which obviously I advocate for, just like massages, things like that. It goes back to that maintenance for our bodies. The same type of things we're giving to our cars, our vehicles.
Yeah. Same treatment we need on our.
We need to make sure we care for ourselves.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure. Wasn't that wonderful? And you should come and feel just as great as I do right now.
It's fun.
It's very fun. And I feel so fluid now. So thank you so much for that demo. I want to know more about someone who may be unsure where to start. If I come in and I've kind of had headaches or I may have arthritis or joint pain, how do you sort of diagnose or know where to start on my journey if I'm unsure?
Sure. So I do offer like a consultation appointment, and patients can either come in or we can even do Zoom. Like especially with the functional medicine stuff that I do, with the patients with PCOS, the hair scans, like I can do all of that.
So you basically have 3.
What's it called whenever you do things apart? Oh, I can do all that virtual. Sorry.
Oh, virtually, yes.
Okay, sorry. Yep, so like the hair scans, functional medicine approach, I can do all of that virtually with patients actually.
Oh, nice.
I can send them kits to their house with the hormones as well. And we just jump on Zoom calls and I kind of create a protocols for patients.
Very nice. And so how do you kind of monitor their progress as they go? Do they get charged, or how often do people come in to monitor that?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on what type of plan we agree on and what people want. So usually people will come in for their testing, or we do it virtually. I'll send them a kit. And so after that, I create a 90-day protocol for that patient, and it's usually supplemental.
Okay.
And so, they get a protocol. It gets all their supplements for the next 3 months. And so what I usually do, it depends on the patient. If the patient is like, I don't feel like I need any support, I can just carry out this 90-day protocol, then
Right.
I just allow patients to do 90-day protocol. And then they can always, I usually try to just reach out to a patient once a month, just to like check in on them, make sure they're doing okay. And I
That's
usually
good.
do that, it's just for, for your charge or whatever.
Yeah.
However, if a patient like has a lot of questions, things like that they have throughout the process, then I will like charge, we'll just meet like once a month, and we'll just charge a fee for that. And then if a patient's like, if a patient's really compromised and they need to change their life significantly, I will usually sign them up to like a monthly type of protocol or like a package where we do check-in.
Sort of like a subscription.
Yeah, where we do,
kinda-
well, it's like the supplements are included. It comes with an e-course, like a dietary type of e-course.
Oh, that's great.
Where they get exercise and things like that. And then also their supplement regimen, it's all packaged in one. And we touch base every other week and just to see their progress.
Yeah, that's a great way they can measure their progress too.
Yep.
And
And then the hair scans that I do, it actually is a 36-page report. And at the end of the report, it comes with a 90-day self-progress checklist. So every 30 days, I want you actually filling that out because we want to see you tracking your progress along the way to make sure you're getting the results that you want.
awesome, that's awesome. Anyone who has a job, it's with passion, it becomes more than a job. What would you say is your mission to other people who may not be as educated with holistic practicing?
Yeah. I think that my objective is really to empower people that you weren't created to be sick and ill. Like our body is actually perfectly created, and sometimes you need to support it. Like just like people take people take better care of their cars than they do their body. You know what I'm saying? Like just the same way that you go and you get your tires rotated, the same way you go get an oil change. Like you have to care for your body the same way you would. People eat junk terribly. That's like saying, hey, I'm just gonna go put some I don't know, dirty water or sugar water in your gas tank, instead of people are putting premium gas in their gas tank. It's just so really empowering people that your body can heal itself if you get it what it needs. And I really love to educate people on how their body works, because I don't want you to be dependent on a conventional system, because to be honest, that's what they want. They want you to be dependent on them, and that's helpless when you're going to doctors and not getting the answers, right? And so my objective is really to help educate you to where you have a good understanding of what's going on with your body physiologically and how we can heal it.
That's awesome, and thank you for all that you're doing to educate others. You have personal blogs as well on your website and different stories on there. I see a book, I don't know if you have one, but so you can always go on her website and check out those, and it talks about, one of them I love talking about different types of water you should drink, because everybody thinks water is water.
Correct.
So you have really great stories on there.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, and it's all information. Futuristically, I'm going to do a lot more, but just waiting on help. My sister's actually in chiropractic school, and she'll be in 6 months. She'll be joining me to help me in practice, so I'll have a little bit more time for some educational stuff. Yeah,
that's nice. To learn more about Dr. Halie and her practices and to get a consultation, tell us where you're located.
Yep. So you can go to drhalie.com, drhalie.com, and you can always schedule in there. You can email me from there, give me a call. There's a lot of information about what I do and the costing and the price as well.
Perfect. And what are your hours?
I'm pretty
flexible.
Yes, I'm pretty unconventional in the way of it's not 9 to 5. I have some patients that I come in for 7:34. I have some patients I stay till 6:34. So I'm willing to work with people. I'm really here for you and to help you get better. And so I have an office in Panama City Beach, right over the Halfway Bridge, and I also have another office in Myanmar Beach as well, located inside of Ain't Life Cool, which they do a lot of cryotherapy and stuff like that there.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for being on the Morgan Martin Show and informing our guests about how to treat ourselves better. And now we know even another place we can come to find wellness tips and just to feel better as a whole. Contact Dr. Halie. She is truly the best. This is an experience you don't want to miss out on. We want to make sure that our bodies are treated just as well as our cars, as she has mentioned, and that we live long, healthy, happy lives.
Yes,
so thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. Bye.
Catch all brand new episodes of The Morgan Martin Show only on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live and YouTube. Real talk in real time with real people. And don't forget to show us some love on Instagram at morgan.martin.media. As always, stay tuned for more.